Alright then now. It's your boy the Toothless Wonder. What's the science, B? Word up. What's the daily mathematics, cat? And I don't even know what what I'm gonna title this joint. I'm just, traveling a little bit and I'm gonna just hop on the joint and just come with some free flowing thoughts, right? So I'm getting little subscribers, during my infancy stage, have no real plan about this YouTube channel. Just, making material, as they say. And, shout out to those who subscribe and comment. I get emails, um, like when people comment. So I'm always mindful to comment. But, in this infancy stage of this, I would like it to be like a form or like a marketplace of just information. You know what I mean? Where, hopefully like-minded people can just share information. You know what I mean? I'll start off with one. I know finances is real big with inflation and so on and so forth. So earlier on in my journey of this sobriety thing, they teach you to stay in the present moment or whatever the case may be. But I also felt the need to like cast forward. So I started perceiving who I would need to be in the future, like what kind of attributes, characteristics, from where I'm trying to go, even though I don't know where I'm going. Like envisioning the type, like how I want to operate. So I'm almost 42. So I started this journey, I was like 38, 39, something like that. But I never had credit. So I didn't know anything about credit. And then I kind of got duped going to like, paying people money to fix your credit or stuff, you know what I mean? And then it really don't work, or I'm like, man, I could look that up myself. So that's what I started doing. Um, so I established credit, through how I did that. But I came across some information about credit unions. And I heard about credit unions, but, you know, I just know about it in theory. Um, I know that, a lot of time, well, a lot of credit unions are nationwide, just not geographically restricted. So come to find out, if I got a membership with the American Consumers Council, that it gives you access or opens the door to memberships of various credit unions, such as DCU, which didn't sponsor this video or whatever. But through another YouTube, I think the Credit Plug found out that, and I think they changed it. You have to be a member for 90 days. But once you're a member for 90 days, you can get a no credit check, $1,000 quick loan. You know what I'm saying? Just something out there. Now, I've been with them for a couple years now. And then after a while, they boosted up to $2,000. So let's say you're in a pinch, or like with me, when I first started taking out the loan, I didn't really need it. I was just trying to, diversify my credit. Now I hurry up and pay it off and try to make myself look good in the system. But now I can get up to $2,000 and just fill out some information. No credit check, no docs, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all got some information, as I'm talking, that you feel may suffice for someone else in the chat or in the comment section rather, or myself, please feel free to share. Because I think in the Negro community of, coloreds, a lot of times we just don't know. You know what I'm saying? And that's how YouTube has been very instrumental. Because in my personal life, or just the people I'm around, or where I, navigate to, that's one of the reasons why I'm not really kind of big about society for real. Because very seldom do I hear people, speaking on information that I can personally use. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't already implement. So my kind of isolation, which I guess is, by design of the Most High, to kind of keep me away from heathens and, not get set up or whatever the case may be, because I am different. Um, it's not out of choice. It's out of necessity. Just like I try to add balance to my various talking points. Like people say, oh, I don't fool with nobody. But a lot of times it's not because of the form of which I just stated. It's real because, let's be honest, you're a horrible person. You're conniving, you know what I'm saying? You're selfish. Like who wants to be around that? So there's a difference between, let's say, having hurts and pains and growing in wisdom and choosing to walk alone, or like with me, like I have issues with codependency and, what I mean, things that, versus, the latter, in which you're just a horrible human person. You're a horrible person. And you're just out for self, and you're just out to see what you can extract from the next person. You know what I mean? Which will kind of funneling me into a thought I was having of how, and I've covered this before, but just this predatory social matrix we find ourselves in. Again, I always use the plantation construct where they breed this kind of competition thingy. So let's say me and a guy are on the same level on the job at the warehouse, and then, there's an opening for a promotion to supervisor. It then breeds competition between me and this man that, we was cool with or whatever. Now, if he get it, okay, the better man won. I ain't tripping off that. Because again, like, my self-value isn't tied to, like, social validation or title or anything along those lines. But if I win, now my man at work is treating me different. Or he don't want to listen to me because I know him, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just, that's why I don't fool with it. It's out of necessity, not choice. Like I said, and then here's one of my hopes. And I've done this, with a few other brothers, who have YouTube channels where, we converse through email, things of that nature, share information. But at some point, and I keep hammering this home and preaching, to myself as well, we have to start coming together. Yes, we probably, if we're here in Babylon and you're black, you've probably been hurt, you've probably been betrayed, you probably, been effed over. And that's probably just part of life, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I still try to be mindful to be open-minded, because I don't want to be so hard off on, I'm out here by myself and whoop, that I don't perceive a blessing when it presents itself, because I'm not open-minded to at least be open to letting someone in or whatever the case may be. And then here it is in reality. The weapon forms that don't prosper. Even with the people who have betrayed me, it might have hurt from an emotional place, like, oh, how could they do that because they were next to me? But in reality, it really didn't do nothing outside of the feeling of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it didn't turn me cold. Now, I had thoughts like I should, I ain't going to do this, or the next person, I'm a woo-woo. But I just can't do it. I just can't. It's not my heart to do that. I'm not constructed or designed to be that way. And like I said, if I don't like the rules of the game, I just don't play. So, and I don't feel like like I can't have a puncher's chance at winning if people are operating like that. You know what I'm saying? I just choose not to do it. But again, at some point, we out of necessity, we're gonna have to come together. No man or woman is an island unto themselves. Even in this talking point of, like, the boss chick or I'm the independent woman, I don't need no man. Those thoughts, you didn't come, like, if you subscribe to that school of thought, you didn't come up with that on your own, because it don't make no sense. You heard it so many times through media, music, or whatever, you ended up adopting that mentality, even though it's not beneficial to you. Like here in Babylon, it's so crazy, and it has to be a form of sorcery in which they've convinced black people to take pride in the things that don't help them or don't work for them. But the things that are beneficial and purposeful and, wholesome or whatever the case may be, they convinced us that that's evil. Let's take, like, the institution of marriage, which is a wonderful thing, which is kind of the building block for the fact that all of us are here on earth. But now they've deconstructed marriage to the point where they've made it a joke, where people are scared to get married, and under this construct, rightfully so. You know what I mean? Because they set up the environment, or financially incentivized divorce, or, city girl, city boy. You know what I'm saying? They destroyed everything that's decent and wholesome. You know what I mean? They messing with Nate. Like, nothing is in its original form or set as it's constructed to be. So now we put a bad label on good stuff, and then put a good label on bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's insane. Like, and this place can't last long. It just can't. It can't go on like this. It's unsustainable. Not even from a financial sense, which it is, but from just a societal sense. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you go to a tribunal type of community, let's say some people who live in the Amazon rainforest, they can't operate the way we operate in America and survive, because they're interdependent on each other. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, everybody's all for self, and it's all about me, and da-da-da. Now, to one degree, you have to be that way to not get bamboozled. But on the flip side of the coin, if you're operating like that, Most people that I know that operate like that, without the spiritual kind of context on top of it, live miserable lives. You see them, they got cats and dogs for company, and they always talking about what somebody did wrong to them, but they never acknowledge the part they played. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm on this path of growth and healing. So, when you heal, it's almost like it does something to your eyeballs where you see things differently. You can perceive things before they happen. You see what I'm saying? And I noticed, because healing is hard work, but I had no choice but to do it. I didn't even see the value in it when I started. I didn't even know I was doing it. Praise the Most High. You see what I'm saying? But I noticed there are so many wounded, unhealed people out here masquerading around people like they okay. But they're not. And here's how I know they're not. Because a healed person doesn't seek to take advantage of anyone. A healed person operates in the semblance of humility. A healed person doesn't have an inflated ego, because they just have a better understanding of what this thing life is, not what they sell it to you as here in America with consumerism, materialism, self-absorption, so on and so forth. To me, and that's why I would like to go other places and visit other places, just to see how, other cultures and how people operate. Because here, everybody's the done data. Even if they're in a bad, financial situation or whatever, like, everybody's overly prideful. I'm like, how are you prideful and you're unemployed? Or how are you prideful and your kids are in disarray? You was just named the Bama of the week last week for the third week in a row, but you walk around with your chest out. How? Like, I could make the argument that here in Babylon, the vast majority of people you see are suffering from some undiagnosed mental health disorder. You see what I'm saying? Listen to the substance of their Now, of course, initially, people put on their best front, but eventually, the truth of them comes out in word. When you hear the things they say, or everybody got their own beliefs, that's them. But what they truly believe, typically, it's a belief that's been sold to them, not due to critical thought and analysis. Hence, whatever it is with the, the LGBT thing, but those people don't accept that because they actually accept it, or they believe, whatever they believe about it in a societal context. They believe it because they've been bombarded with so much information that it changed their belief system. The scientific theory of incrementalism. If I slowly change things over a period of time, you won't consciously recognize the change. You see what I'm saying? Like, even in the black community, the things we uphold are detrimental to us. Let's say ghetto culture or whatever, which is a very small percentage of black people. Most black people aren't in the ghetto. You see what I'm saying? But ghetto culture proliferates other areas of black society and culture. You might go, I don't know, to whatever state agency, right? This is a state job, you know what I'm saying? A career, I guess. But the black people there conduct themselves ghetto, even though in a financial sense, they're not in a financial bracket of the ghetto, yet they behave ghetto-like. You see what I'm saying? Just this promotion of degenerate behavior and degenerate mindsets. I was talking to a coworker of mine one time, and I asked him, he's a younger kid, maybe he's working on his late 20s. I said, how many functional black relationships do you know of? He said, damn, none. That's insane when you think. Now, of course, there are those out there, but just on, sheer numbers and percentage, let's say you might know 5, but in totality, 5 of 1,000 is a drop in the bucket. Everybody I know is cheating. I just never understood that. I'm on that old school mod. I'd rather have bad times with you than good times with someone else. You know what I mean? But that's on my guitar, I get my deal. But back to the topic. Like, no one has any, even back, let's say during my grandparents' day, stuff went on, cheating went on. I'll give you a story. I got a story about my grandfather was cheating with the woman down the road. Now back then, being a divorced woman was like a scarlet letter upon your, you know what I'm saying? So women would put up with stuff and, in the essence of keeping the family together. My happiness doesn't trump the greater goal and agenda here. You know what I'm saying? But my grandmother was a hellified woman, because as time played out, the woman down the road ended up getting sick and my grandmother took care of her. You see what I'm saying? Just out of sheer humanity. You know what I mean? And I didn't never hear nothing about it, so she kept it secret. She didn't run on, of course, it wasn't no social media back then, but she didn't run around and air my grandfather dirty laundry and whoop, 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 whoop. She took it on the chin like a G and continued to be the matriarch of the family. Even, as we're in this kind of different kind of social thing where, grandmothers are now 40 years old now, those elder members of the family who, kind of died, no one's keeping the family together. No one's coming in, as the elder member and saying, nah, we not doing that, or no, baby, I love you, or you not doing right. You want to go to rehab? I'll take you. You know what I'm saying? Out of just sheer love. A lot of times, if it don't personally benefit me, or if I can't, do it and then show and tell other people I did this for you, it ain't worth my time. And this is how we treat one another. But then we'll hoop and holler about what the proverbial man is doing to us. But we do it to each other every day and feel good about it. I guess it maybe came from this self-hatred. I think Scarface had a verse. That ain't got no love for yourself or your other brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I'm just thinking here, and in reality, do we want, I could intellectually make this discourse, right? And it's one thing to know something, but do we really want to, as a whole, in totality, as colors here in America, do we really want to change? Or do we, you know what I'm saying? Even if I thought about this, right? If, let's say they gave us reparation and gave black people Texas, y'all free, y'all govern yourselves, it wouldn't work, because we're not used to governing ourselves. We're not used to working together. You know what I'm saying? If we had to be in an environment where, let's say, where the Old Testament laws of the Torah were in place, even though we could see the benefit, most people wouldn't want to be there, because people get off on being sneaky and being okay, this is my husband and we stay together 30 years and okay, but this don't do nothing for me. It's too boring. I want to be sneaky. I want to go down the street and get hit by the dumpster. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to mess with Bon Quisha. You know what I'm saying? Or Il Nana Shawty. You know what I'm saying? They've kind of moved us off our spiritual post to the point where I truly believe most people's spirits are deleted. Their souls deleted. It is what it is. And I'm not making judgment. I'm making observation. I just feel it, yo. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't nothing I'm all bent out of shape about. It just is what it is. And I just practice a certain amount of acceptance. Now, of course, do I wish things were different, or could I be in an environment that was more conducive to where I'm at with it? Of course. And I work on that every day with the understanding it'll happen if it's supposed to happen in the Most High time. And I'm cool with that now. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as vexing to me as it used to be. I kind of just settled into it, not in a defeatist kind of mindset, but it is what it is. And I continue to, be all right with it. You know what I'm saying? What else you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It's real in the battlefield, baby. But it's just amazing to see how they've just moved us, even if you look on social media, I think I covered this story about the German woman who was basically critiquing American women primarily black women, and then they actually, like, typically hit dogs holler, and if somebody says something and you get an emotional response, it was because it's true. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. And she was just saying how she got a black man, just a regular, average black man, and they've been together 20 years, and she's a decent looking white lady or whatever. But she was just critiquing, and I think she's Turkish or something, but they live in Germany. And she was just critiquing what she sees of black women on social media, which I find to be very, like, delusional, because nobody is forcing black women to present themselves in the way they do. Whether it be, the twerking and the, what I'm saying, just I don't need a man, or just degenerate behavior, right? Nobody's forcing them to do that. They're doing it because nobody can hold them accountable. And then a lot of times I don't see other black women call out the behavior. So in appearance value, we look terrible. And then let's say if a brother goes, overseas to Thailand somewhere or wherever, in hopes of getting a more feminine version of a woman, they'll say he a sellout. But while he was here, they said he was lame. You see, it's almost, again, it's the plantation constructing effect. Like, you're nothing on the plantation, but when you leave, now we're trying to shame you back. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. But they've really, they've convinced our women that whoredom is a good thing. When I look at any other culture and history in America, or not, just all over the world in different dispensations of time, a whore was the last thing you wanted to be known as. That was almost maybe a level above or below a bum or a homeless person, someone that was destitute. You know what I'm saying? But now we've embraced whoredom. We've embraced the destruction of the family. But then here's the end game of it. See, I say whoredom, the promotion of whoredom and whoredom to a black woman is the same thing as the promotion of the street life and hustling to a young black man. Fool's gold. You might be able to get away with it because any sin has to be profitable or feel good to chime you into it. But over a period of time, it comes to your detriment. So let's say she's 20 and her prime years of life, and she's just playing the field, doing whatever. Then about late 20s, 30s, the game start changing. There's a new crop of younger women. You got more baggage, you got more bodies, you got bad experiences from all that stuff you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Then at that point, then they start, depending on the social economics, then they start trekking off on young dudes, or sometimes they turn gay. 35 go on. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is you doing? I'm out, y'all. What was that? Oh, 35, you know what I mean? Then here we go with girls' trips and, going overseas, trekking off on me. 40. By the time they get 40 and they're playing the whole game, now they either dealing with a dude who just got out of jail or a drug addict just to have somebody around. But they don't want him either. You know what I'm saying? But he don't want her. He just, circumstantially can't get nobody else. I know of black women in their 35, 40, 45, and that's the context of their relationship. And then they'll still go out and cheat on him, or, but ain't nobody taking them serious. It's no different than the dude who hustles when he's in his 20s. Yeah, you might ball out a couple of summers. Now here come the indictment. Now you down for 5. You come back out, let's say you in your late 20s, you trying to hurry up and cook back unless somebody got enough sense to tell you, or you do, to switch your style up. You do that a couple more summers. Now you really get hit. Now in your early 30s, you get hit with a 10, 15 piece. You come home late 40s, no skills, nothing to come home to. You've been out of society, so unless it's family, like you lost connection with people. And now, essentially, you're starting life in your 40s as an infant. You know what I'm saying? Not saying someone can't redeem themselves, such as myself. Like, I ain't played a street. I wasn't a street dude. I was just a dude in the street. I didn't buy my first car on my own till I was almost 40. You see what I'm saying? Um, like I'm kind of late to the game with certain stuff as far as operating society, but I don't beat myself up about it either. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I just try to make every day count now. You know what I'm saying? It's, I don't even know where I'm going with this. I just think I'll bring it home to this point. I think information for those who are seeking it and desire it is the way out of the game, is the way to fulfillment, is the way to not get bamboozled, is the way to upward mobility. It goes back to the verse, without vision or lack of knowledge, the people perish. Without vision and knowledge, you're just roaming around aimlessly, being pushed to and fro by every wind of doctrine or every wind of bamboozlement. That's why like the upper echelon or the people in the government, they view the American as sheep, because you can just herd sheep. Sheep aren't very intelligent beings. They're very docile, and you know what I'm saying? That's how they view us. That's why they curtail not only critical thought and shame it, but your foods and the air and the water with the fluoride and so on and so forth is kind of set to make you more to, I guess, suppress your pineal gland, where you get creativity from and free thinking. That's why everybody walking around out here like a bot, a biological organism. You know what I'm saying? That you can control and program through the trauma and programming, societal indoctrination, so on and so forth. That was the premise of the Nazi social scientists, that human beings were nothing more than biological machines and can be programmed to behave and act a certain way with certain stimuli, trauma, like the ghetto. Like the ghetto is actually an experiment. And we see what goes on in the ghetto, where you limit resources, pack everybody in real tight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to hop off here, man. I don't know how I did this one, but this just one, just sharing some information with y'all. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share some information in the comment section. With that, I'm signing off. Ooh, oh!